Date and time?
What time is it? I have no watch.
5/11.
July 12th.
July 12th, 5/11.
I second that.
Election of chair.
Nominate Nancy Rumer.
Seconded.
Any other nominations?
Any other nominations, talk, any other thing else? Nancy, the rest is yours. You're on your own.
No.
Let's have a vote. Yes? No?
Unanimous.
All in favor, motion carried?
All right, Nancy, you might as well take over from 2 down.
Okay. Designation of alternates is the next item on the agenda.
If I could, Madam Chair, as the Board of Selectmen gathered names to see who was interested in being reappointed, at the time, I was not able to connect with either one of the alternates. Right now, you have 4 regular members, the 4 you see sitting here. There were a couple of people that were not interested in being reappointed. Because I did not speak to the 2 ladies, well, the 4 regulars, Nancy, Roland, Dennis, and Lois. Those are the 4 regulars. Because I hadn't spoken to them to ask them if they wanted to be regulars or stay alternates, the board reappointed them both as alternates. So for tonight's meeting, one of them will need to be appointed as an alternate that's going to fill in. They've since had a conversation amongst themselves, and Brandy will be moved forward to the selectmen next week to be moved into the regular seat.
You're going to be the regular member.
Right, but for the sake of tonight's meeting.
Yoli.
Yoli?
And we'll have one more, so we'll have 1 alternate seat open that we'll be advertising.
Okay.
But she needs to be moved up for the sake of tonight's meeting because her oath was only for an alternate.
Okay, so the other board members are Lois, Denny, Roland, me, and Brandy. Okay, thank
So
you.
it's a 5-member and 2 alternates.
Okay.
Well, you will have 2 alternates eventually.
Yes, we have 1 right now.
Madam Chair, the only thing that's not on here is the notes for a secretary. But I can see it's not on the agenda.
What?
No,
Like,
you have to nominate a secretary.
oh,
It's not on the agenda.
all right. Do we need a
Nominate
secretary?
Lois Michu.
I do not take that.
Do we need a
So the
secretary?
zoning board ordinance does indicate that you'll have a secretary. And that's gonna be kind of under miscellaneous. There's gonna be a secretary amongst your committee, and then the town also will provide secretarial services. So they'll work 1 and 1 together, but yes, the ordinance does say that you have a secretary.
So we do need a secretary.
I think Brandy should do it.
How do
I'll
you spell
second that.
brandy?
It depends, we're drinking it or spelling it.
Just notes of motions and it passed or not, basically.
I've done it in the past and it's not that easy.
The town will support whoever carries this position and ideally do all of the minutes for you with your approval and review of them. Whoever decides to do that position.
Can an alternate do it?
There's nothing in the zoning ordinance that indicates they can't.
Right.
Males can do it too.
I make the notion that Ollie do it.
Any volunteers?
And it gets seconded. Can he second?
Under,
I seconded.
She seconded. She's gonna do the, no.
oh,
She's saying
Oh, I thought
Yoli.
you said,
No! No!
She's saying
Said you.
Yoli.
oh, that's how you said it.
Yeah. Ron will take notes.
Roland would be good.
Roland, are you willing to take notes?
Come on, I've done it before.
Again, Mr. Waterhouse, this town will support you and
I
help them
will
type
do
and
it,
present.
thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
So there was a
All in
motion.
favor of Roland elected as secretary?
Who made the motion,
you.
Nancy? I'm sorry, who made the motion?
She made the motion.
Okay, and who seconded
Yoli.
it?
Right, I'd like the motion for Roland.
And I'll second it because she's actually seconded it, so.
Okay, and everybody's in favor, correct?
Correct.
Raise your right, raise your hand.
Because I actually wanted her to do it, since she's normally known.
Okay. Miscellaneous information. Well, we've been presented with a,
Actually, Madam Chair, before you I have your other items on there. I have a few things I need to just go over if that's
Okay,
okay.
please do.
So I just want to, I guess a few of you may wonder why I'm here. The Board of Selectmen have had numerous conversations with council over the last year or so, if you will, regarding ZBA, roles of ZBA, roles of the Code Enforcement Office, land use. It is the recommendation of more than one attorney that the Code Enforcement Office or the Land Use Office that's being appealed not be the one to oversee and prep for the hearing. It doesn't appear to be a fair, unbiased, if the code officer's secretary is the one that's scheduling the hearing and getting the information and passing it out, it can appear to be not completely unbiased. So I will be taking the minutes on behalf of the ZBA and preparing for any hearings that you have and dealing directly with the chair. Certainly make no decisions on your behalf. It's just a point of contact. Should anything come in, it'll go directly to the chair and she'll advise and call meetings accordingly. I did do this agenda tonight because I had nobody to ask, where the prior chair chose not to be reappointed, so you're certainly welcome to make any amendments to it. This was the best I had based on the information I thought was before you. So the other thing is the ZBA emails. Nancy, you'll be the only one that will need an account. Everybody else can physically get into theirs. Yoli, did we set you up? No, okay.
As far as I know, mine doesn't work.
You never got it back in, you never got back into it? All right.
And I haven't got into mine for last two meetings.
But have you tried to get into it?
I've tried, I have no success.
All right. So I will send each of you, Brandy, you can get into yours.
I believe so.
Mr. Long? You haven't tried, okay. I will send you all an email to your, what I have on file is your private email with your username and your password again. Please, if you can't get into it, let me know, because that will be the only form of communications. Certainly if the chair instructs, we can make phone calls to call meetings, but that's really where your correspondence should be, through the town email.
Okay. Anything else, Jen?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Minutes from May 5th, findings of fact, which is printed out here.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
make a motion we accept the two sets of findings of facts on the previous ZBA meeting. What was the date on that?
May 5th.
May
May
5th.
5th. One was in regard to an appeal filed by Ms. Pearson, I believe.
The appeals were from the Chandonay and the Del Sato.
Right. So that's my motion.
do I hear a second?
Second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Well, that's one change, I was also here.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask that, unfortunately, the APAT had some computer issues and we weren't able to go back and review, so I would ask also that, if you guys could just think back to anybody else that might have been present on the Zoom meeting, for those of you who were there. This is typed off memory once we realized that we weren't gonna have access to the film. So Yoli, I'll add you there.
I was there.
Can you think of anyone else from the public that was
There
there?
was a couple of public, but Dan cut them off, and I don't know who they were.
So I have the parties, and I know the Pearsons were there.
Yeah.
I'll make that amendment, thank you.
Okay, and we make a motion, you made a motion to accept the findings of fact, is that correct, Roland?
That is correct. I made a motion to accept both findings of fact.
Both findings of fact, did someone second that motion?
Second.
Yes, okay, all in favor?
But are we doing the findings of fact or just the minutes? Aren't we just, technically, we're just doing.
Yeah, it should be the minutes, because you approved the finding of facts at the last meeting. You authorized the chairman to sign them.
This is the
So
last time we
is there a
didn't do that.
difference?
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
during the meeting, we accepted the findings of fact, and now we're just accepting the minutes of the findings. of fact.
Because we
Okay.
didn't do it the last time, we had to have a special.
So this is the minutes here, all righty. Okay, accept the minutes from May 5th.
Let me withdraw my motion, my previous motion, and make a motion that we accept the minutes of
May 5th.
Of the May 5th,
May 5th.
2021 meeting.
And I'll second that again.
Okay.
So we don't mess up again.
Yeah, well, that was the problem. We didn't get the other ones the last time.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. And do we have to accept the findings of fact?
No, they're just attached for documentation as part of the minutes.
Okay. The next item is the Great East Lake Improvement Association appeal. There is a letter from Drummond Woodsum.
Yeah, the town of Acton received this at 4:53 PM.
Oh,
Yes. So, we did, you know, Durwood Parkinson was communicating with them on your behalf, and thought it might be coming, and then, like I said, it came about 5 minutes before the meeting, so probably want to read that aloud for the record.
okay. Dear Chairman Archambault, as you know, this firm represents the Great East Lake Improvement Association, hereinafter Gelia, and Patrick and Charmaine Gahan, an appeal that was filed with the Town of Acton's Town Zoning Board of Appeals on December 17th, 2020, from the code enforcement officer's decision that no land use violations have occurred on certain properties known as the Youngs Ridge Road and Buzzell Road subdivisions in town. This letter shall serve as formal notice that Gelia and the Gahans hereby withdraw their pending appeal, which scheduled for a hearing this evening with prejudice. Gelia and the Gahans would like to thank the board for its time and consideration of the issues presented in the appeal. Sincerely, Amy Chow of Drummond Woodsum.
Make a motion with one correction to the letter, and we remove Chairman Archibald's name and insert Ms. Ruma's name.
Or ZBA, Acton ZBA, whatever.
Well, I
It
don't
was
know.
addressed to Mr. Archibald, so
Okay.
I make a motion, we accept this letter withdrawing Gilia's appeal.
Madam Chair, I didn't get a copy of that letter yet.
Okay. We will
Not in the,
fix you
I've
up
gone
with one.
through peeking everything. Thank you.
And so, I assume we accept the
So that was my motion.
withdrawing the pending appeal with prejudice.
Okay, so you had a motion, was there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, the next item is Ron Colson appeal, and there's some paperwork that we received.
Yeah, really the only, part of this as far as being on your agenda tonight, because no one has been notified, including the applicant, the abutting owners, we haven't taken any of the steps as outlined in the, zoning board of appeals. As outlined in your ordinance. The sole purpose is for you to set a date for the hearing, so that you can instruct me to advertise it accordingly.
Okay. What's the timeline as far as notifying the butters?
Well, we have to give abutters at least 14, I believe 14 days notice. I mean, I would recommend a good 3 weeks out, so by the time we do the press, and so if you can pick a date and time,
Okay.
we'll get everything going. But he has, he did meet the deadline, which was within 30 days of the permit being issued. In this case, it was the permit being reissued. The permit had actually expired. And Mr. Demers, our fill-in CEO, did extend the permit, but this did come in within the 30 days.
So is all work put on hold until this appeal is resolved?
Question for your CEO. Yeah, I don't think they've started.
They haven't started, okay.
But based on that question, we can certainly get a legal opinion too. I mean, I would believe that it would have to be, but we could get a legal opinion on your behalf if you'd liked.
I think that's what happened with the Pearson.
Yeah, that they had, it only makes sense. I mean, what's the purpose
Yeah,
of?
I mean, what's the purpose of appealing if
Well-
work's gonna go on anyhow?
Right, we'll follow up tomorrow with that.
Okay. I don't have a calendar.
Somebody got a phone?
Yep, I've got
Yeah,
one, so
I've got a phone, but
What's the date 3 weeks from today?
how about August 2nd? It's a Monday.
sounds good to me.
What time would you like it?
This time.
Any preference? This is good? 5 o'clock?
Said 5?
Make a
Will we
motion.
get a copy of the permit, that what they're,
Yep, you'll get packets, for everything. This is actually the Gilia, but, you'll get a packet of everything. We'll start pulling it together for you.
Okay.
Make a motion, we schedule the appeal for Ron Colson for August 2nd at 5 PM, 2021.
Second that.
All in favor? Okay. We'll see you at August 2nd, 5 PM, and that's informational packets that you have there on this?
No, this is all Gilia, because like I said, we didn't know until 5:05 that they were gonna cancel. We don't generally give the information out too far in advance, because the idea is that the zoning board of appeals is a hearing where you're hearing the information for the first time on both sides. So we've given you the basic application, some notes, but, we need time to pull everything together for you.
So what do they want another date? Is that what's going on with them, or what's?
Nope, they have officially withdrawn.
They've withdrawn, so there is no more date.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because every time we turn around, we're screwing up somewhere.
There is no further date. I made that very clear at the last ZBA meeting, that there would not be another extension to the Gilia appeal filed
Back in,
December 17th.
yep,
And they did ask for one, but, Mr. Parkinson was very clear that Mr. Waterhouse would, that the committee as a whole would not support another
yeah,
continuance.
no, because that's been longer than most, and it shouldn't have to be up that long.
Is there any other business in front of the board? Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? There we go.